Good morning, everyone. Today is the 28th day of Nissan, and we're going to begin with counting the Yomer. Stay together. Hayoim, Shloisha, Asar, Yoim, Sheheim, Shavua Echad, Veshisha, Yamim, La'omer. Today is 13 days, which is 1 week and 6 days of the Yomer. Okay. Today's lesson. Page 103 in your Chayenu. In today's lesson, one should train the mind to view the world as the outer garment of the king, which consequently brings an awareness of the king, the one inside those layers of clothing. Describing earlier the fear a Jew should possess for Hashem, Galter Rebbe said that it should be similar to the fear felt when one stands before a king, trying to use different ways to remind ourselves to have Yiras Hashem. And one of the ways, can you close the door, please? One of the ways is to remember, just like we would be embarrassed in front of people. Steve, do you mind closing the door? Close the door over there. Thanks. Just like we would be embarrassed to do certain things in front of people, so too, we might be embarrassed. No, we should realize that Hashem's always watching over us. If we wouldn't do it, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, if you wouldn't do something in front of a mortal man, how much more so HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And the question arises, but when you're standing before a king, he's not only being seen by the king, but the king is looking at him. He's looking at the king. But we don't see Hashem. It's harder to have fear of something you don't see. Should he So he adds that one should remember that in addition to the case of a mortal king, the fear of the king relates mainly to his inner essence and vitality, and not to his body. But when he sleeps, although his body does not change, there's no fear of him. The king is sleeping, you're not worried about him doing anything to you. This is because when he sleeps, his inner essence and vitality are in the state of concealment. Really, then, they are the main reason for fearing a king while he is awake. Surely his inner essence and vitality are not perceived by the physical eyes, but only by the mind's eye. Through the physical eyes beholding his body and garments and knowing that his vitality is clothed within them. This in turn leads to the beholder to fear him. Here we see the king is looking at me. I'm able to see his royal robes, his crown. I know that that's the king, so he brings fear. And if this is so, then surely in the analog as well, not only is the king seeing him, but he's seeing the king as well, and this causes him to fear God. Moreover, a person must truly likewise fear Hashem when gazing with his physical eyes. You look outside, and you're like, this is all the Eibishter. These are like the garments of the king. Hashem is enclosed within them. Alter will now say that by looking at heavens and earth, the heaven and earth, one not only becomes aware that Hashem is giving them the vitality to exist, but also perceives how the world and all its inhabitants are truly nullified to the divine life force in Hashem. I'll go to the footnote here on page 104. V'gam nida b'yiras ha'ayin, shehem b'telim la'ori yisparich, shtachavasam, kol yoim, kelape marov, ishkiyasam. It's also seen with a glance of the eye that they, the entire heaven and earth, are nullified to his blessed light by the fact that they bow to Hashem every day. towards the west at the time of their setting. Our rabbis have commentated on the verse and commented on the verse, and the hosts of heavens bow before you, and the Shekhinah abides in the west. V'nimsa ki lucham kol hayoim kalape ma'iravu derech hashtachava be'obitu. And it's not only do the heavenly hosts show their self-abnegation when they set in the west, but their daily orbit westward is a kind of prostration, a bowing, and self-nullification to Hashem. Even somebody who never saw the king his whole life, let's say a real king, he doesn't know him at all. People love Imagine back in the day, before internet, before pictures were shared easily, you had no idea what the king looked like. Suddenly, somebody grabs you off the street, brings you to the palace. You see all these guards, you see these royal robes, you see chandeliers, you see velvet, you see beautiful gold, silver. Everybody's bowing to the king. You know that that's the king, even though you didn't know what he looked like up until a few moments before. But suddenly, you fear the king. So too, the self-nullification before Hashem, shown by the awesome creatures, such as the heavenly bodies, enables one to be in fear and in awe of Hashem. However, the question is asked. When one gazes at the body of the physical king, he sees before him, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that's the king. Everyone's bowing to that person who's wearing the royal robes and the crown. That must be the king. He therefore could understand intellectually that about the inner essence and vitality of the king and comes to fear him. But this is not so, however, with regard to physical creatures. The divine life force is so concealed within them. Through so many guards of concealment, it's possible to gaze at them and fail to be aware that their bodies are but garments to the divine life force. We cannot see their source. We can't see somebody else's neshama. Can you? And although many garments are involved in this, so that when one gazes at created beings, you don't see the life force within him. Yet there's no distinction in the fear of a mortal king, whether he's naked or or whether he's wearing one garment or many garments. It's the realization that the king is found within the garments that creates the fear of him. The fact that that's the king. He can switch clothing, it's still going to be the king. He could not be wearing any clothing. What happens in Elul? The king is in the field. He gets dressed in war. You know, sometimes the king dresses down to blend in with the people. And then one person recognizes him. No, some celebrity, a basketball player, is on the court. Everybody, no, oh, that's the guy. He's in the airport traveling somewhere. No, somebody recognizes him. It's still him. It doesn't matter that he's not dressed the way he dresses when he's on the court or playing a game or whatever he's doing. The central thing, the essential thing is training your mind to continuously think in your heart and in your mind that this is Hashem, everything that you see, the heaven and the earth contain, everything is really the garments of the king, the essence of the king, Hashem, is within them. You train your mind to think that way, and you will constantly remember that this is Hashem, and will create within him a fear of Hashem. Then the question is asked, how is that possible? How could it be that a mortal man could think of Hashem and come to the conclusion that this is Hashem? We can't possibly understand Hashem. Therefore, now the Alter Rebbe goes on to say that really the only way we truly can understand it and can grasp it and can get to this point is because we are the people of the faith. For people of faith, we trust and believe that Hashem is enclosed in everything because we can't really see it. We try to think of these concepts. We try to allow ourselves to be led by the Kabbalah, the understanding of that Hashem is everywhere and everything. And we believe it. This is the word faith. This is what the word emunah is all about. Takes training from the time we're a little kid. You teach a kid to kiss the mezuzah and to kiss his tzitzis and to love and to fear Hashem and to say the Shema. So it's a part of you. And that's how it's passed down from generation to generation. And that's why it's part of our DNA. Amen Yadav. Just like a craftsman who constantly works with his hands. I was thinking about that, by the way. A good doctor. What's a good doctor? He did that procedure many, many, many times. He knows how to do it so well. A dentist, same thing. I'm going to the dentist today. I'm worried. You know, if he's a good dentist, he did it so many times that he perfected his craft. He's really good at what he does. Anybody that does something good, anybody who has whatever their job is, and the reason why people are hiring them is because they're so good, they're trained well. And as a Yid, you also have to be trained well. When you say the Shema and you have Kavan and you think of the Eibishter, it's because you trained to have him in your mind and in your heart. It doesn't just happen automatically. And you have to come into it with a certain frame of mind. That's why I'm so blown away and I envy, you know, Bali Tshuva. Most of their lives they didn't daven, and then one day they start and they did, and they get into it. It's unbelievable. You're a little kid, and the first thing you could say, the first words you say, and your parents teach you how to say the Shema and Maida Ani and kiss the mezuzah and like love Hashem, and we sing we want Mashiach now. You know, it's like that's a part of you. When it becomes a part of you later on in life, it's like somebody learning a skill. You know, switching careers later on in life. The guy's a lawyer. The guy's an accountant, and then he decides, you know, he's gonna run a triathlon. Triathlon? Yeah. He's gonna, you know, he never did anything like that before, or he's gonna become he's gonna become a computer expert or something, you know, it's like, and we have to adapt. We have to be willing to try new things. What we have to do is constantly accept the yoke of heaven, which parallels the injunction, shall appoint a king, meaning Hashem over you. As the Alter Rebbe has explained elsewhere. And this is what the Tanya teaches us, that once we accept the yoke of heaven, now we can start to fear Hashem. Hashem, blessed be He, forgoes the creatures of the higher and lower worlds, meaning they're not the ultimate intent of creation. Yes, angels are nice and sweet. They serve me. They sing my praise. But what Hashem says is, I really want you. I want you to accept the yoke of heaven. I want you to do a mitzvah, which is not always so easy, and accept upon yourself my kingship. Is our inyan. And we daven Shemana Esrei, and we bow down to Hashem. After we say, I accept upon myself Hashem. When we say the Shema, Hashem is one. Once we say Hashem is one, now we bow before Hashem. So there's a whole lead up. What we do is we accept again and again an actual deed and so on. Because once we bow in the Shemana Esrei, you think, there's certain parts of the Shemana Esrei we bow. No, it's very intentional. We bow down. We show acceptance in actual deed of one's self-nullification to Hashem. So remember, Hashem, Master of the universe, forgoes the worship of all creation and chooses to be king over each and every one of us. And when we daven, we accept that kingship, we accept that judgment of Hashem, especially during the Kriya Shema. That's when we think about this. And that concludes Chavra chapter 42 in Tanya.